Hello and welcome to the first heat wave of the year. Oh, fun times. Not really. Nope. Not really fun times. Especially since the first heat wave of the year was, well, this is supposed to be the peak of it. But today was going to be like an all day in the shop. Paul's asking if I'm going live. Yes, I'm going live. Let me. Yeah, no YouTube. So far, I'm just gonna do the do not disturb. Um, we'll see. The computer is still I left the computer out here. I was gonna take it in. I was gonna get a bunch of work done. And I was like, no, I don't want to bring it back out. And like knowing what happened last time, I should have it out here in case I need to like type messages to people and tell them like I'm gonna start back up again. And you know, we'll see how it goes. How hot is it? Well, it's not Florida hot. Okay, settle down. You're just gonna be you only want me to do the how hot is it because like you want to be like, oh, that's nothing. It's hot for here. For this time of year, we're 15 or more above seasonal right now. I want to say it's about 33, which is about it's low 90s for the Americans, which means I've talked about it before. If it's 32 ish outside, I'm at least 4, 5, 6 degrees hotter in here. I'm probably at almost 100 degrees in the shop right now. Let's see what this thing says. Campbell River weather. What's it? It's saying 32 at the airport right now. So my house is probably 33, 34. And what's that? Cool. Hey, it's handy having a computer on here. Celsius, Fahrenheit, 33, and yeah, 92-ish. 92-ish. Which means, like I said, probably not quite 100 right here where I'm sitting in the shop. And normal. Let's see what the average or the historic. The average high is 17, and we are currently at 32. So yeah, we are 16-ish. Oh, we broke temperature record today. The previous temperature record set in 1985 was 29.6. So there. that's about the weather. And that's hot. That's hot for here. What's tomorrow? What's tomorrow? What's tomorrow? Tomorrow, okay, 28 high, but I think it said today's high was going to be about 28. Tomorrow should be about the same. Starting to come down back to still above normal though. 23, 26 around the end of the week. So we got a couple more days of this. It is what it is. I've said before, like You can't control the weather. So, just deal. But doesn't mean I have to like it. It's 305 Kelvin. It's hot. 305. Yeah, it's not comfortable. I like being comfortable. Even it's like we had to plug the air conditioner in for the first time a couple of days ago. We got, because we're fancy, like rich folk. We've got one of these. It sits on the floor, and then the hose goes to the window air conditioners. Because I'm kind of a big deal on YouTube. And so we had to plug that in for the first time a couple of days ago, and it was having trouble keeping up. Last night, it's got a thermostat on the front that tells you how hot it is in the room, and it was on high, and it was still going like 76, 77, 78, 79. And I was watching it. I was like, are you going to click over to 80? Are you? Whatevs. It is what it is. I have a 5-ton at my house and a mini split for the shop. You guys both said you have 5-ton package unit. I don't even know what that means. I've never been fancy pants enough to have like central air. Well, that's not true. I was upper middle class growing up, and we had central air. And then when I moved out, because I became an adult, well, I moved out before I became an adult, but once I moved out of my parents' house, I've never again lived in a place with central air. Did I get very I got to the fourth thing. I was gonna do some more thing today, but I wanted to do a full day in the shop, and then I didn't do that either. I had some running around I needed to do. I went down to the shop because they're closed on Monday. So did a little bit of glow forging. Got super frustrated and gave up on the glow forging. But I am on last stage of dice boxes. The never-ending dice box project. I don't think that they're dice boxes, to be honest. A couple of them are gonna be, because that's what I was working on the whole time through the video, was making dice boxes. So for video purposes, they're dice boxes, and I've done a couple of them as dice boxes, but most of them are going to be left blank, and they're just nice little mitered boxes with splines and hinges and latches, because I think they're too big. As a prototype, like, let's give this a shot. I am going to use a couple of them for my dice, but I am not going to sell them as dice boxes, because most people don't carry 2+. At least, these will hold at least 2 whole sets of dice. Most players aren't carrying around 2 sets. Maybe for DMs, they could be DM dice boxes, because they sometimes need multiple sets. But I think I'm just gonna, for the video purposes, they'll be prototype dice boxes, and at the end of them I will say, so these are too big. Despite wanting them to be bigger, than regular dice boxes. I have made them too big. I will make another batch that are smaller next time. Thanks for watching, kind of deal. But they're still nice little boxes. Just didn't turn out exactly how I had hoped. I wanted them to hold a full set of dice, but not only be half full if they're holding a full set of dice. You know what I mean? Because at that point it just feels like a box that you're putting dice in. It doesn't feel like a dice box. Besides your controls gripe, what? Okay, I'll give you the free bingo card spot without spoilers for people. Tears of the Kingdom, Legends of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I only have about 3 hours into it. It is an absolutely gorgeous piece of art in terms of its production. Is very, very attractive. Like Chris said, I was talking to him about my controller gripe. I was just running around in Breath of the Wild for the last like 2 weeks, just doing stuff for fun, just to keep my muscle memory on my fingers, because I'm like, they're not going to change like what buttons do what in the new game, so I should keep my fingers, the muscle memory, so that my fingers know which buttons do what when I get the new game. Well, I might as well have not done that, because most of them are the same, but a couple of important ones are not the same. There are some interesting new mechanics that I think are going to be fun to explore. At this point, I will say that I am looking forward to finding out whether they have overcomplicated it for no reason. I'm only 3 hours in. I will do a follow-up when I'm a little bit further along and maybe my fingers get used to the new where things are. I hope they do, because man, I sure don't want to be trying to figure those kind of things out when I'm involved in a fight. I'm like, oh, that's the wrong menu. Like, so, but it is stunning. Is very beautiful. As Breath of the Wild, one of the best things about Breath of the Wild was just the landscapes and the beauty of the world that they'd created. And this has turned up the crank on that for sure. I didn't think it was going to be possible for it to be even more attractive. And it is. I like the possibilities of being a couple of different solutions to a puzzle. There were always different solutions to the puzzle. But yeah. My Zelda cartridge comes in tomorrow. It was pre-order from Best Buy on Christmas. For some darn reason, couldn't get it into my hands on release day. I got it on release day and had my first sit down with it yesterday. I don't know. Yeah, yesterday, I think. Yeah. I quit playing games a few years ago. Breath of the Wild was the first video game that I had played since, I mean, other than like Mario Kart with my boy once in a while, because he wanted to play, or it was like family night and that's what he wanted to do. But the last time I played a video game for enjoyment for myself, and even this one was more about spending time with the boy than, after a while it became more about my enjoyment of the game. But initially it was about spending time with the boy. But this one is the first game that I had gone into like enthusiastically as a gamer. since probably been a long time. I used to play Tiger Woods golf a fair bit, but it was like Tiger Woods 2003 type time. I guess the last one that I really got into as an adventure story type thing would have probably been Fable. And we're talking Fable 1. So, what's that? I can look it up. I have a computer. Fable. Oh, geez. Well, video game series to 2004 was when Fable came out. And I played it not long after that. Maybe a couple years after that. So it was absolutely before 2010. Skyrim took up my entire gaming life for over a year. I still play it. I have heard good things about Skyrim. I don't have enough time in my life to have more than one video game on the go, though. And now I've got a new one that I think it'll be fun once my fingers get used to the new system. But right now it's really, really frustrating. Because I'm like, that's not where that's supposed to be. There's another free bingo spot for you guys. That's not where that is. But we'll see. We're going to have another go at it tomorrow. Boy actually started his own save because he couldn't wait. So he started on Friday night. And I have been like, shit it, as we're playing. And he has said that I'm allowed to get caught up to him on my own. So tomorrow during the day when he's at school, I'm just going to walk around and just play with things and get my fingers used to stuff. What game console platform? The one that we're talking about right now? We're talking about Tears of the Kingdom, Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch. Beer. It's hot. I might get hammered. It's possible that this all comes apart tonight. I got a new tool. Is it a tool? Not really. Well, yes. You would find it in the tool section. You would find it in the tool in the Lee Valley catalog. It would be in the tools. I see what you're doing, Pinnell. I see. I already gave you 2 free ones. Okay. Show you what I got today. A decision has been made because I found something today. There had been an ongoing thought process about whether or not I was going to be doing like one big ass dust collection unit and ducting my whole shop, or a few little ones that just run one or two tools. And today on Facebook Marketplace, I found a Delta. Hold on. I'm looking for a serial number. A Delta 50-770, 3/4 horsepower, roll around daily. For a price that I was happy with. And so the decision has been made, apparently, that I am going to be running numerous dust collectors and assigning them to sections of the shop rather than getting a big ass deal and piping the whole place. So that one, I don't know. I still don't know what the whole system is going to be. I think I'm going to have one for lathe, one for sander drill press, bandsaw. So that section over there, dedicated one for the lathe. And then this one might actually just kind of live under the wing of my table saw and be the dedicated table saw. I don't know. I don't know exactly yet, but I have a second dust collector now. I have a 1 horse and a 3/4. Might just get one more of these type size ones and just be like good enough. And then maybe one of the boxes that hangs on the ceiling to clean the air. I got the Harbor Freight 70-gallon 2 horsepower high flow. Just put it together a week ago. Paul's got the same one. And then he put the Rikon impeller on it. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't looked this one up at all. I just know that when I was looking at these style of dust collectors, like the Craftex version, which is essentially like the Canadian Harbor Freight version of tools, was like $2.25. It was over $200 for this style of dust collector for the cheapo guy. And Delta is reputable enough brand for me. So for $100, it also, these are probably not going to be useful for me, but the guy also had this whole kit, this shop vac, tubes and ports and elbows and brackets and stuff. So it was $100 for these two things together. This might not be of any use, other than maybe like cutting these down and making like bottle stopper blanks with epoxy or something. I don't know. I got a bunch of tubes and then some other bits down in the bottom there. So I mean, hypothetically, I could run a shop vac system to a couple of tools, but I don't really see the point in that, honestly. How are those metal blast gates going to be implemented? Well, what'll happen is the 1 horsepower guy that's over in the corner there will probably run in behind there, and it'll come out to oscillating belt sander, drill press, bandsaw, and each of those will have a blast gate on it to choke off as much as I can over there. Don't know. What is in that corner? What is what corner? What's in what corner? I don't know what corner you're talking about. There's things in all of the corners. That corner, if you're talking about the corner over there that my other dust collector is in, it is a Rock, R-O-K. I don't know if it's Roke or it's another one of those like cheapo brands. It's a 1 horsepower with the filter on the top, bag on the bottom, stand-up dealie. I think it's a 1 horsepower. That guy. Looks like a male body part behind the lathe. No, I don't even know what it is that you're looking at. I think you're projecting. It's hot. Mike complains about the weather. I should add that to the next month's bingo sheet. I do need some more things to put on the bingo sheet because I don't want it to just be the same things over and over again, moved around, and I don't want everybody to get the same ones. Hanging on the wall behind the lathe. There's some templates. There's my mask. There's some calipers, or like the thickness. I guess they're calipers. I got, that's about it. There's one of those like construction belt tool holder things that I've never used and probably never will. I have a bag dust vac and a box type sealing dust filter. Both together is the way to go. Yeah, I think like wall hung dust filter air cleaner thing is probably going to be the next piece of the dust collection pie. Now that I have 2 things, get that one piped to these 3. This one set up for the table saw and go on from there and get one of those box things. But I want to redo the lights before I do the box fan filter thing, so I know where I can hang it. Because the lights, weirdly enough, I think lights are actually more important than air cleanliness. Probably the tool belt. You're talking about, oh, you know what? Because it's the tool belt hanging from the same hook as something else that's hanging behind it. So yes, you're right. It does kind of look like a cock and balls. New thing. So instead of one unused dust collector, you now have 2 unused dust collectors. At least I'm making stuff. What's the last thing you made? Other than a wall for the shop. When's the last time you made a thing? I mean, the wall is a thing that you made, I guess. The Garburgula thing doesn't count because that was just a kit that you bought and screwed together. Was it the coffee station? We talked about that last live, putting something in the background to generate more comments. I thought you were trying it out. No, but I do. I mean, you would think that having this all in the back of some shots would generate comments. It probably isn't in the back of too many shots, though, to be honest. It lives right here. And I don't, on the live show, I'm sitting in front of it most of the time, and I don't generally shoot that way very often when I'm making projects. So yeah, maybe I should like just leave that laying around. Did everybody watch? Has everybody watched the new video that went out this week? The first project video of 2023. In May. Pinnell, are you okay? I wanted to send you a message with it, like a trigger warning, because I know that you have some issues with table saw operations sometimes. You're not a fan of watching people table saw, and some of those operations may have been a little bit too much for you to the paddle. Yes, I'm talking about the paddle. Kapla. I know, Tim. I know. I appreciate it. I know some of you I know that watched it because you commented and stuff. You're not the people I'm talking to. Think you should have epoxied some fish in it? Well, that wouldn't have made any sense, because they would have been in the sky. I didn't comment. Yeah, I noticed. You did watch it though, right? Were you okay? I think I was using the table saw on the show live one time, and he was like, I'm gonna go away for a bit. To be fair, there was kind of a trigger warning in the video itself. That's the one where you cut part out with the table saw, put in wood pieces, poured resin, and planed and sanded it down. No, didn't see it. You should go watch it after this. And leave me a comment. Great project, Mike. Thanks for sharing. That's all it takes. Give me that one more engagement point with the YouTube algorithm. I honestly, like, one of the sketchiest parts was just figuring out, because it wouldn't sit, it like right off the bat. I was like, I need to get a surface, like a flat surface that I'm going to build this whole thing upon. But the whole thing was a little bit wonky. So like trying to find a place where it would rest flat enough on the table saw for me to push it through the blade a bunch of times was kind of a hassle in itself, because it just like, it was not wanting to cooperate. And I didn't want to build a whole new sled just for this one thing. So I kind of went, well, that's gonna have to be stable enough. Let's go. I've been watching your older videos. That way I get new content from you on a regular basis. I've noticed that every now and then a comment will come up from Paul Waldrop on like an old video. He's like, oh, he's going through the back catalog. You're gonna run out eventually. There's only 327 of them. So I do have a couple more almost ready. The dice boxes, as soon as I literally just finished recording the clip of putting this guy on there. So I basically just have to put the rest of the clips on there and then film the outro. And that one will be done in terms of the recording. Then editing is another story. The artsy mountains, the abstracted wooden mountains art piece is recorded and ready to get edited. Shop stool, guitars. I'm sure there's another project hanging around somewhere that don't know. I'm not good, you guys, at the YouTube-y thing. Yeah, laser etched the D20 on the top. I brought it down to work where we have a Glowforge Pro. So frustrating. It pisses me off that I couldn't get that thing centered. Even like I did trial ones to try and like dial it in, and honestly, I have to say I use that Glowforge quite a bit, and I don't think I would buy one. It is super finicky. What we do generally doesn't involve a whole lot of like precision locating of the thing, because most of the time we're just cutting stuff out of a piece of wood. If I was gonna do this again and I wanted to do these types of things on them, I would do a bunch of them and then I would cut them out around what was engraved rather than try to locate an engraving in the set, like, because that's garbage. That's shit. I can't sell this. That's just like, I might as well just give this to somebody. And whoever it was that wanted me to do one with a dragon head, you're out of luck too, because I found a couple of cool dragons, and this one turned out garbage. This was my experiment piece. This one's shit because it had a bunch of stuff in the background of the file, so it like engraved this garbage all over it. And this one's cool, but it's still pretty shitty in terms of its engravability. So I had a frustrating time down at the Glowforge today, but I got enough. I got a couple of these things done for video purposes so that I can say, well, I made some dice boxes, at least for me. The rest of them are just going to be boxes. And the next time I make them, they will be a little bit smaller, and I will engrave the stuff that's going on the lids and then cut it out around those, because it's really hard to locate things precisely on the Glowforge, even if you're quite familiar with the operation of the Glowforge. To be honest, like I work with that a fair bit, and I still could not get it jiving. makes sense to do a bunch on a larger sheet and cut it out after. Yeah, but I didn't think it would be that big a deal. Like, it should not be that difficult, because it was just the lid. It wasn't the whole box. It was pre-hinging and stuff. It was just the lid. You would think you'd put it down, line it up with the camera, and then hit the go button, and it should be where you put it on the screen. But it isn't, because Glowforge has like a fisheye camera that runs the whole system. And if there's even like a little bit of built up smoke residue on the lens or anything, it's just like it thinks that this is where you want it, so it goes ahead and does it. No. Damn technology. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. That's why you should do everything by hand. I might as well have. I probably could have gotten the wood burner out and just drawn a D20 on with the wood burner. And it would have taken a little bit longer, but it would have been way better result. And probably not that much longer, honestly. Whatever. They're fine. They're fine for me and the boy. This one will be... One of them will be mine. One of them will be boys. And one of them I'll just give to somebody else. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a draw for it or something. I only did 3. And before I was like, no, I hate this. So maybe we'll do a giveaway on one for me, one for boy, and we'll do a giveaway on the other one. You can have a shitty dice box with an off-center D20 on the top of it. Yay! Intarsia. Yeah, if I was already wasn't going to be able to charge what they were worth. Tim, I keep forgetting. Paul, I keep forgetting to mention to you, I've been checking out your guitar page and really like those tellies you make. Don't give it. No, come on, okay? We don't do compliments here. It's not true. It's not true. I like giving compliments as much as the next guy. But they're like, part of the fun is that we're here just like bashing on each other and having good fun. Just Paul, your guitars suck. Yeah, there you go. Beer. That's fun. All right, so we're coming up on, the reason that I was 5 minutes late tonight, like I need to justify it, because I'm just standard late most of the time. I remembered that I wanted to at least restart my phone to give it the best chance of not crapping out. But it was about 5 minutes from now on Saturday night when YouTube just decided to be like, nope, you're done. So we'll see. We'll see tonight. We're at 45. If all of a sudden my number of viewers and thumbs, which by the way, don't match up, Those numbers should be at least the same. But if that chunk of my screen goes blank, it means that YouTube has just like dropped off again. And we'll just start another one up again, and then I will re-examine whether or not I want to keep doing this. It was a weird live on Saturday. By the time he came back on the second video, I was too intoxicated to continue. That a guy. Hintelica. Welcome back, my friend. Got another oldie plane with paint splatter, 6th in a row. Yep, that happens. Did painters use hand planes back in the day? Well, okay. Yes and no. Back in the day, craftsmen used planers to do all kinds of stuff. Like they used planes as part of their work, and they were also painters and carpenters and whatever. So yeah, it's fairly standard to have splurts of paint on old planes because they were just laying around work sites. Because people actually used to use planes as part of their living. Tim says white paint. Yep. Yeah, I would guess that it probably is white paint. Tim. Yep. Yeah. It's absolutely very, very common. They used a lot of planes, unlike Mike, who hangs them on walls for backdrops. See? See? It's only partially true. It does make a really good backdrop. But they do get used. Most of them do get used. Some of them do get used. Accurate. Almost every used plane I bought, I had to scrape off white paint. Yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not uncommon. No one might. No. It's just super rusty. I don't have any currently with white paint on the wall. I might have some ones with white paint in a box someplace. Using planes on windows and frames was common, as was white paint on windows and frames. It's true. This one time Mike used a number 5. I don't think you've ever seen me use a number 5. But now, why are you pointing it out? You're people need to be paying attention for themselves. Yo. Okay, a block plane. Yes, you probably have seen me use a block plane. Well, I know you've seen me use a block plane. You could go back through the archive. You'll see me use this guy, and this guy, and that guy, and that guy. Wait, maybe not that guy. This guy. This one. This one. You gotta watch more of my vids. That's one. How many have I used in videos? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that it? Oh, the 8 I used in the video where I did the 8. where I like opened it and unboxed it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I haven't used that on a video yet. I did record the unboxing and setting up of it, but it was pretty boring and shit, so I didn't release it. I could. I did use the 45. I used the 45 on plywood in a video. On a plywood edge. Like edge grain plywood. Or was it? Or was I on the face and cutting down to the edge? I don't remember. I was cutting a rabbit in plywood, and I was like, I've got this. Let's go. I think it was the edge grain plywood that I was using my 45, and I was like, I think I even said something like, because I have it and it's cool. I need to do the cello so I can use the ones that I sent you. I'm going to start with an acoustic guitar. I think I've pretty much decided that I'm not going to start my acoustic instrument journey with a cello. The only time I used my Stanley 55 was to test it after cleanup and sharpening of the irons. Yeah, sure. Playing some plywood. I just didn't want to put a sacrificial fence on the table saw for some reason. So I was like, I'm just gonna get it down a little ways so that I can have the blade close to the fence, but not have to like recess it into a sacrificial to cut these rabbits. It was the Glowforge cabinet. Glowforge material storage cabinet or something like that. There's plans for a side bender if you want me to send them to you. I was just gonna get a pipe with a light bulb in it. There's lots of people that have made like hot pipe benders. It's not that complicated. Says the expert. Oh, we're still going. We're at 53. Maybe either YouTube or the phone restart. Got it figured out? Because I think it was about 50 minutes that both streams on Saturday were just like, nope, you're done. Joel's back. Look out. He's going to throw a dumbbell at you. Sounds about right. Bourbon. When you get back, I'll have one with you. I have a bottle of bourbon over there. If I ever get to wanting to use one, I may make a steam pipe for Benningwood. Sold all of my acoustic stuff when I decided to concentrate on electric guitars. Built 15 acoustics before you quit? Okay, cool. Kettlebell training these days. The only dumbbell is myself, he says. I bought a few years ago. I was like, you know what? You should get back in shape, fatty. So I was like, okay, but you, right? So you've met yourself. You've been living with you for a long time. And you know that, like, this is not a thing you want to do. But you've got a kid, you want to be around for as long as you can to, like, be father figure and watch him grow into adulthood. You should get into better shape. And at the time, I had like sit on my ass desk job in front of a computer, so I was getting heavy. I'm losing big time weight since I started a job there where I have to actually like walk around and shit. But back then, I was like desk jockey guy. So I bought myself a medicine ball, just a little guy medicine ball. It was about that big, but it was heavy ass. And I was like, and then I figured it would also like help my golf swing. I was just like, I'm just gonna fire this against a wall. I'm gonna find a big brick wall someplace. I'm just gonna fire this against a wall, and it'll like help my core strength, maybe help my golf swing, build up these like torso muscles and stuff. And then I can just lay on the floor and just do like chest passes to myself, like from back in basketball days. Just throw it up in the air and catch it, and like and get my heart rate up a little bit and like exercise. And I gotta be honest, like I was pretty good. I did it like 7 times. So got some of those like elasticy, stretchy thing with the handles on them that you can like attach to a door jamb and like do like things with. Those didn't come out of the box. The medicine ball is still in the box waiting for an unboxing video. No, it isn't. I actually did use it. I went down to the school even and was like, fired it against the wall. Like, any kind of physical activity is good. I've gotten surprisingly good gains from simple equipment, very minimal equipment. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been shedding weight like a madman since I started at a job where I was just back on my feet. I had a 15, 16-year career in food and beverage service. And then I had a 15-ish year career in journalism and got fat. And now I'm back like walking for a living. Well, not for a living, but like I move around a lot more. I'm constantly tightening my belt. It's great. Need to get out golfing more. Grab that medicine ball and fire it against the wall a few times. Journalism and food, so I was a food critic. No, I wasn't a food critic. It's just a journalist who loved food. So I sat at a computer and ate while I wrote. Oh, journalism with food. No, I was in food and beverage service. I was a waiter, bartender guy for 15 years before I got into journalism. Worked for about 15 years making pizza. Broke my ankle, then had knee surgery and got fat. You buy a kettlebell. Joel will teach you how to use it over at Intentional Gains. I like that we can have fun making fun of each other and not take it seriously in life. There's too much going on in this world to be taking everything seriously. Finally starting to lose weight again. Hi, guy. Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, like, you had like part of your leg replaced. You're probably not going to be doing a whole lot of moving around for a little while, and that's going to end up putting on some pounds, probably. I don't know how to put this. Oh, you almost got me. You almost got me again, Pinnell. Is that your last square you need for tonight? Is that what's going on? I need to be careful with that guy. He's trying to, he's got a bingo card and he's looking for spots. Lawnmower Detective, welcome back, my friend. I appreciate you. Dave. It's been a while, though. I want to say David from Illinois. No. One of the other I states. Indiana. Not sure I'm doing well, but I work on wells and pumps. Okay. Things have been crazy here in Indiana. Hey! Is it also Dave / David? Because that would be cool. Dave from Indiana. Whoop, whoop. 2 for 2. Yeah, nice. Nice. Sometimes things stick for a while. Welcome back, my friend. Oh, things are hot up here on the West Coast. Like hot, relatively speaking. I think earlier in the show we were going through, like, I was looking up like historic references. We're like 3 or 4 degrees over our historical like hottest day ever. So like we beat the hottest day ever by like 3 or 4 degrees today. And that's like 16 degrees over average, which for my American friends is like a bajillion degrees. I don't know the exact rate, but the difference between 16 and 32. 16 is historical average. 32 was today. Previous record high was 29. Just wanted to pop in to say hello before I started my end of shift junk. All right. Well, I hope you have as much fun as you can with your end of shift junk. And thanks for coming in and saying hi. Appreciate it. My mother-in-law lives in Evansville, Indiana. We've got some people who are familiar with your area. John Mellencamp was born in Indiana. But was he John Cougar then? Cougar was a promoter thing and he hated it. Yeah, it was supposed to be funny, Tim. Thanks for wrecking my joke. Evansville is 2 hours west of me. I'd love that city. Okay, maybe I should, if I'm ever allowed back in the States, maybe I'll come down and visit Indiana. Lots of places in the States that I would like to go if I was allowed. Maybe my friend Lawnmower Detective can work it out for me with the Border Patrol. You got a good relationship with the border peeps? Don't forget the anniversary tonight. It's true. Tonight is May 15th. And that is, in fact, the anniversary of the first ever Mike's Wooden Things and Stuff live show. Tonight is I don't even know how many years ago. The calendar doesn't say even how many, what's the anniversary? How many years ago was the first ever live show? 4? Maybe 3? Where's the first live show? It's got to be 4 years ago that I did the first, because this is like the anniversary of the first one ever. I must have done a live show 4 years ago. Don't you have it on the calendar? Well, I have the anniversary of the first show on the calendar, but I don't know how many years ago it was. Is it 3 or 4 years ago today? I did my first ever live show. How long have I been doing the channel? I have been doing the channel since, let's go about. Let's see if that says. I joined YouTube on February 9th, 2018. But doing the channel, if we go to videos and we go to, can we sort by oldest? No, probably not. But we might be able to just scroll down and go to like the last one. Can we? No. I want to say I started the channel in 2018, but it was probably 2019 that I started like seriously doing it, like in terms of putting videos out into the world. Let's go to studio. Have to determine by beard growth in the videos. I don't think so. I think it was probably, it hasn't gone up or down that much since I started. Content in studio. If we go to videos, we go to the end. No, I just can go to the next, but I can go next a bunch of times and see when I like actively started posting. We're looking at, okay, so right, my first ever released video was June of 28, well, the end of June 30th, 2018. And then I did like 3 more that year. So let's say 2019 was like my first year of doing it as like a thing that I do. Yeah, because 19, I've got like, 2019 was where I started doing like the, you need to, if you're going to do this serious, like you got to put out a video every week. And so, yeah, we got end of 2018. I've got like December 14th, 25th, 30th, January 3rd, January 13th, 24th. So it's about the start of 2019, basically. But if last try, live stream 1,000 subscriber giveaway. It was the 1,000 subscriber giveaway that was my first live show. That's right. Okay, May 15, 2020. So 3 years ago. And it was a giveaway. And it took me like 3 tries because I tried to do it on my laptop at the time and there was no audio coming through. And people were like, you're muted. I can't hear you. And I'm like, oh, well, fuck. I don't know what to do. And then I went on my phone. And that was the start The inauspicious start to this nonsense. Did Beckham win that one? No, he didn't. Somebody won that one that just like was a random viewer that won, and I was like, "Hey, congratulations! Send me a picture. What do you do with it?" And I heard nothing back. Mailed it to him and everything. Got no, no. He was just a random dude who won the draw. Just wanted a free thing, stumbled upon it, won it. GG's, everybody. Got to wake up early and try and help assemble cabinets on a cluster cuss of an assembly line. All right. Later, Joel. We'll be here next week. Going back to Saturday this week. So it's only 5 days away till the next stream. Beer. Do a short show tonight anyway. It's kind of hot. I don't know if I've mentioned that. It's a little warm. At least tonight I didn't get shut down 50 minutes in, so that's good. That was weird. That was a piss off last week. You know what we should do? I've got my computer out here, and I could look up song lyrics. We should piss off everybody that's still here. Joel left just in time. Mike's thinking about getting a guitar. What's that? Or we could Zoom. Nah, I'm not Zooming. Not Zooming. We'll hang out here. And if anybody doesn't want to hang out here, they are free to go. And I'll hang out here with whoever shows up and whoever sticks around. I'm already going. Penel, you should, sometime when you're at work with your bass in your office, you should record that bass line for me, because I would love to play over that bass line, because that bass line is rad. And you can do that part and send it to me, and I'll play over it, because that's one of the radder Tragically Hip bass lines for sure. I mean, that's really what makes the song, is that bass line. That's probably why it's your favorite Tragically Hip song. It's because of the bass line. Because the rest of it is really not. It's free to stay. You don't pay us. I know I don't pay you. Well, that's not true. Sometimes I pay you guys in prizes, and I pay you in entertainment value. Does Penel have a whammy bar on his bass? I'm not even sure what kind of bass Penel has. Penel, fill us in. What kind of bass is sitting in your office that you get to go play on sometimes? I have a fancy dancy Cort bass guitar. It's an Ibanez. I think I did know that, actually. It's not a Waldrop Guitars bass. It's true. It's also not a Mike Davies original. It's a Mike's Wooden Things and Stuff bass. Because Pinnell only likes mass-produced, recognized names. I think we had that discussion one time on the show too. But he was like, why would anybody buy a guitar from a name they don't recognize as being like a reputable guitar maker? Isn't that what you said, Chris? You were like, nobody will buy a guitar that's made by somebody whose name they don't recognize. Tim's got a Fender Jazz. Sweet. Those two things are not the same. Said the second part. Yeah, okay. So it was the general. It was partially accurate. The spirit of what you said. Paul has a Waldrop Guitars bass. Wow. Look at you being fancy pants. You don't have a Mike's Wooden Things and Stuff guitar, though. It's a shit name for a guitar company. But have we had this conversation on the show before about how I like actually have an idea for a guitar branch of my company, but I have to look into like copyright issues about the name? Because I don't know if you can trademark fictional locations or not. I think it was no one is going to pay what a custom guitar is worth on Facebook Marketplace from a one-off maker. That's what I said. That's what I said you said. No, it isn't. Tim, the name I was thinking, I would like to have a wing of my business that makes guitars and call it Rivendell Guitars. I have the Facebook page. It hasn't obviously been launched, but I did create the Facebook page for Rivendell Guitars. I'm just not sure if that's going to be a legal issue with the Tolkien family or not. Can you copyright a fictional location? Probably. He invented it. I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to call a guitar company Rivendell Guitars. But that's what I would like to do. It's almost like I need a lawyer. If you're a lawyer, especially if you're a copyright lawyer, send me an email. Let me know. Change the spelling? No, it defeats the whole purpose. Rush song called Rivendell. They never needed permission. Well, but they could have probably also. They're not creating a brand around the name. I mean, like I could call a song, if I wrote a song called like The Enterprise, and it was about exploring outer space, I think that would be fine. If I tried to like make a brand that was called like Enterprise Toys and it was all about like spaceships and stuff, it might be in trouble. You know what I mean? Like it's, I don't know. The domain name is available. Rivendell Guitars? Yeah, so that tells me that somebody would have used that by now if they were allowed to. Like, I can't possibly be the first one who thought that would be a rad name for a guitar company. So if that was a thing that could happen, it should have happened by now. Maybe I'm just that smart that I'm the first one who came up with that. There's lots of Google search, lots of businesses named Rivendell. Huh? Well, shit. Maybe that's a thing that could actually happen. Rivendell Bicycles, Rivendell Mental Hospital. But is that the name of an actual place that maybe those businesses, if you could name your town that? I don't know, guys. Anyway, I'm surprised this is the first time this has come up on the show. Because I've had Rivendell Guitars Facebook page for, let me see. Rivendell Guitars was created, the Facebook page was created on, when was it created? Oh, Facebook has changed everything. It's another one of these examples of innovating for innovation's sake. No, there's no need. I barely made it. Like, I haven't even filled out most of the information. I basically just like grabbed it and went like, nobody else can have this. It's been ever since probably absolutely before I made my first guitar. It was probably back when I made those guitar blanks and I was like, I'm gonna make guitars, do do do, like. I can't find when I created it, but it was absolutely, reach more of your audience by filling out the information, dummy. Well, I just wanted to book it. I just wanted to have the name. Rivendell Guitars was a guitar store that is no longer in business. Sweet! Maybe I can do better than them. It's basically just a name. I just want like a fancy R as the logo. And to be able to call it that. Like, it's only going to be like a very small percentage of my business. I would like to have part of my business hearken to my favorite author of all time. I think that would be cool to have a branch of my business reflect. I would like to have all the branches of my business reflect things that I love. See, I want to know when I started this page. Establish your page's identity. I basically did nothing. Okay, maybe I can go here. Call it the Rivendell Shadowcaster. Wonder if Fender would mind you using the caster part. I don't think you can trademark part of the name of a style of a guitar. I don't think. My 0 most recent posts. Here's how my 0 most recent posts are doing on Rivendell Guitars. Just want to find out when it started. I just can't. Because Facebook is garbage. Activity log. See if there's like a page started. 2017. That's before I even started the YouTube channel. That's before I even started a woodworking YouTube channel. I had Rivendell Guitars on Facebook. So yeah, it probably was when I made those first 2 guitar blanks, and I was like, "I'ma be a luthier." It doesn't say when in 2017, but at some point in 2017, I created Rivendell Guitars on Facebook. Still hasn't launched, but that's funny. Gibson does. They are the well from which all guitars have sprung. No, all guitars sprung from the lute. I think Dallas is going to take game 7. 2-0 with 7. I honestly, I don't really even, I care about hockey only in as much as sometimes my Oilers are okay. But then they're always disappointing in the playoffs, so it doesn't matter. Once again, they had a pretty good year. At least they made it to round 2 this year, but I don't watch hockey anymore. I barely watch football. Barely watch golf. Anyway. Oh, I got people messaging. This is cool having 2 screens, actually. This is it. Pinnell's sending me links to various pages called Rivendell. Oh, what? 2014, there was a website called Rivendell Guitars. Okay. Maybe they're out of business. Maybe they got sued and had to go out of business back in 2014. Maybe the reason they're not a business anymore isn't because they weren't good, but because they use a name that they weren't allowed to use. I don't know. I'm not ready to launch a guitar company. Let's be honest. I should not be launching a guitar company. But if I do, that'll be what I would like to call it. I want to keep hanging out. You guys want to keep hanging out? Or do you want to go? Are you only staying here because I'm still on? Starting to cool off a little bit. I can feel that the temperature is going down. Yep. Down to 30, which means that I'm probably down to 34 in the shop. Tim wants to hang out. I'm going to get a bourbon to hang with you, my friend. It's not good. It's not good bourbon, but go to the whiskey cabinet and get a glass. I'm going to have a glass, not a glass. I'm not gonna have a whole glass of it. A Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. I don't like it as much. This is gonna sound stupid because these are all cheap garbage bourbons, but I like the Jim Beam vanilla better than the Jack Daniel's Honey. But it's okay. Not drinking good bourbon either. Henry McKenna is $14.95. Okay. Doing preventative maintenance on an MRI. A lot of back and forth in the scan room. Should you be watching a YouTube idiot hang out in his shop while you're doing maintenance on an MRI machine? I don't know. Actually, Jim Beam isn't bad. I can't do Jack. I have a bad history. Yeah, it's all relative. I don't really see there being that much of a difference between these things. They're all sort of low end bourbons, and the fact that they have to add vanilla or honey or something to it in order to make it palatable. But I don't hate it. It's a little bit too sweet. And I am going to toss a little bit of Coca-Cola Classic in, which is definitely going to help cut the sweetness. Just to give it a shot. Just a little bit to add some color. And it probably actually does make it less sweet. JP Weiser vanilla. That was a pretty good one. That was, I mean, don't come here to learn how to fix MRI machines. No, go to Timothy Mallon on YouTube, because he's got instructional videos on all of that. His step-by-step troubleshooting. How to figure out what's wrong with your MRI machine. DIY MRI machine troubleshooting. Oh, I want to see that video. Please, Tim. Please. Do the DIY at home maintenance of your MRI machine. Oh, that'd be hilarious. So when your MRI machine is giving you this code that's an error, have you had that JD before? This, yes, in fact, I have had this. Well, obviously I have, because I haven't had this much of it tonight. Buffalo Trace is a smooth bourbon. If I was going to buy a bourbon, it would, well, obviously I bought that. But if I was going to have a bourbon to have a nice bourbon, I'm not going to spend a ton of money, but I'm probably going to buy Maker's Mark. Have you done a level 3 diagnostic? Could be a problem with the nacelles. Fuck. Even check the nacelles? Idiot. Oh, I'm so dumb. Obviously, it's probably the nacelles. You may need to go into the Jeffries tubes to find the problem. You go into the Jeffries tubes, okay? I'm claustrophobic. I'll send somebody else. Pick somebody small. Sven. Sven can go into the Jeffries tubes and let me know what's going on in there. All held together by plastic screws and zip ties. Not falling for that one again. You know what, guys? Honestly, I'll be honest. Okay, it's like I could do my own oil change. I would just rather pay somebody else to do it. Okay, I could run my own diagnostics on my MRI machine. I would just rather pay somebody else to do it. I could do my own taxes. Okay, I'll just pay somebody else to do it. It's all the same. Okay, if you're not an expert and it's not something that interests you, pay somebody else to do it. And here's where Pinnell says, hearkening back to that conversation about video editing, maybe take your own advice. We had a nice conversation about outsourcing a little while ago. Did you hear him go Canadian just now? That's the first A I've ever heard him say. Really? I mean, I think I am very Canadian, but I don't think we say it as in general as much as the rest of the world thinks we say it. It's like a stereotype. We say it, I mean, more than anybody else, but it doesn't surprise me that that's the first time you've heard me say it. Tried a DIY MRI once. For about a month, my urine smelled like marshmallows. We're going to need a diagnostic on why his urine smelled like marshmallows after his DIY MRI. Tim? Was it Jeffrey tubes? It was probably the Jeffries tubes. I quit doing oil changes. Kapla says he quits doing oil changes when it became just as cheap to have it done than it does to buy all the stuff. Yeah. Still does his own taxes. Okay. I'll punch you. I already gave you that. I can do this as many times as I want now because you already got that one. So not enjoying this really. Now I'm just kind of not drinking it because I don't really want, like, now I'm just drinking it so I don't have to pour it out, and I would think I would rather pour it out. Go back to my beer. Probably getting close to wrapping this up for tonight though. I'm glad that the YouTube didn't give me a bunch of shit. Pour it back into the bottle. No, you can get thrown on a bush out in front. I'm looking forward to getting that guy put into action eventually. I think it's a good deal. Does anybody disagree with me on the Delta, whatever number I gave you last time, and a bunch of tubes and stuff from ShopVac for $100 Canadian. A 3/4 horsepower roll around dust collector dealie from Delta, and a bunch of tubes and fixtures and stuff from ShopVac for, what would that be, like maybe $80 American? I think it was okay. It's a great deal for that dust collector. Save your lungs, man. Yeah. Once they all get running and they're all on separate circuits and they can run simultaneously, that was the biggest problem for the longest time, was that I had the whole shop on one circuit, so I couldn't run a dust collector and a tool at the same time. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. I think I have 8 circuits out here now. So I should hypothetically be able to run dust collection and tool everywhere if I plan it out properly. Seattle has 17 seconds to tie the game. What's your favorite band from Canada besides Rush? I always loved the Guess Who. Sam Stanley. I think you might be relatively new, or you don't pay attention very well. Because by far my favorite Canadian band is the Tragically Hip. Tragically Hip is has been a not insignificant part of how I have learned to appreciate my country and Canadian music in general. They made me realize how art and history could intertwine. I would go. There would be a serious fisticuffs if somebody ever challenged me to who the best Canadian band of all time is, and they wanted to say anybody else. I appreciate Rush. I appreciate the Guess Who, but the best Canadian band of all time is Tragically Hip, and I will hear nothing else about that whole discussion. Had to mute the stream for a second to try to figure out who was mowing their lawn at 10:30. It's not 10:30, but I understand that. The Dallas Stars. Congratulations to the Dallas Stars. Name 6 people besides you that even know who they are. Like, then he wonders why he has a coaster. Well, he probably doesn't wonder why he has a coaster. Can't think of anyone but Rush for me. Maybe the Guess Who or BTO. I'll tell you what, Tim. Go Google. Go to YouTube and just look up Tragically Hip. And just enjoy for a while. It's there's something else. There's not anything else like it in the world, and that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Said I'm fabulously rich. Come on, just let's go. And Pinnell is he's doing this already. Just instinctually. Favorite Canadian group is the Dead South. I don't know who that is. Wait, do I know who that is? I don't think I know who that is. Is that the guys that did that video? Is that those guys? They're cool. I didn't know they were Canadian. Still nothing like Gord belting out Let Me Out while singing Locked in the Trunk of a Car at their last show in Kingston. Oh, for fuck's sakes, Sean. Really, dude? All right. We're good. We're good. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I have a very close connection to that band is really important to me. And Gord was a really, really important person to Canada. And that was a hard day. And I'll own it. I'm an emotional person when it comes to certain things. So that's just how that's going to be. John, I didn't mean to Chad gonna complain about his neighbor mowing so late? I said, "But it's not even 8 o'clock." Weird sense of reality. It's still daylight and hear a mower outside. You guys want to see the outside right now? It's bright, sunny. Like I literally, like the garage door still needs to be down because the sun is still just gonna come streaming in if I do that. I don't even want to think about the fact, like, oh man, how much of a he could. There would be some songs, man. There would be some fucking songs if he was around for the last couple of years. Somebody asked me one time on this show, like during one of these like hypothetical discussion sections, well, like who would I put on a Mount Rushmore? And it really, to me, it doesn't even matter who else is there. Gord is there. And then like it would be like Gord and then everybody else. Like I'll pick the other four people, but they don't. Eh. Later, Kabla. Oh, the guys need a rest to work the next day. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, see, I got this, I screwed this up on Saturday too, because I thought I was starting super late for everybody, and they're like, no, it's only like 11 o'clock, which is still relatively late. But I thought the East Coast was 4 hours different. It's only 3. See, now I'm thinking about Gordon. It's making me happy. Made me super. Nope, it glitched, but it didn't shut down. So that's good. Yeah, no, I was like really sad there for a minute, but now I'm thinking about Gordon. It's making me happy. Halifax is 4 hours different. 10:45 here now. All right, later, Kapla. We'll see you Saturday night. Back to regular time Saturday night for the next one. Maybe back to the guitar. Now that I know that this thing isn't gonna give me crap anymore, I can put the computer back in the house, and I can get back to having a full workbench. The only reason that I don't have like honestly, the plan for tonight was that I was gonna actually route the neck pocket, and I was like, nah, but I can't take my computer inside because I need it in case YouTube does stupid things. So now that I know that I'm not going to get shut down after 50 minutes of a show, I can go put the computer back inside. I can have my workbench back. We can get back to making stuff next week. I need to make a bunch of demo pens for the class that I'm going to be doing, because I want to have like 4 or 5 wood options for people to pick from for their pen. And I obviously want them to see what those finished woods look like on a pen. So I got to make whatever those options are. Probably be cherry, sapele, walnut, purple heart, padauk. that people can pick from. So I need to make one of each of those on to have on display. Turn another lidded bowl. What, next week? Maybe. I also want to finally get the jumbo jaws unboxed and put into use. So maybe sometime this week I'll do a video, I'll record unboxing and using the jumbo jaws for the first time, so that on the live show we can use those. Because the only reason I haven't used them on the live show is because I haven't used them ever. And the first time I use them, I have to use them on a fucking YouTube video, because that's the way that my life is. It's another joke Pinnell and I were having the other day. It's like, could you imagine like a craftsman in the 1950s watching this nonsense and being like, so he bought a tool 2 years ago and he hasn't used it yet because he couldn't record himself pulling it out of the box? Guy buys tool, waits almost 2 years to open it so that he can record himself opening it. And he's right. Like that's nonsense. It's dumb. But like I said to Pinnell when we had this conversation, but then when I tell him, but if you wait until you can record yourself opening it, recording yourself opening it might pay for the tool. It might not, but it might pay for the tool. My DeWalt shop vac was free because I opened it and unboxed it and put it together and tried it out for the first time on video. It ended up being free. Because the ad revenue from that video more than paid for the shop vac. Nay! So, you know, I don't love that that's what my life has become. Business Mike. That reminds me, Paul, can Waldrop Guitars buy a $13 sponsor spot on my shop stool? Oh, God. Okay. He needs a little bit of context for that. I mean, he might not. He might just send you $13. I think you should have to explain it in order to earn that $13 sponsorship on the back of your shop stool. Paul, for the record, you get nothing for this sponsorship. There is no benefit to you whatsoever for sponsoring the shop stool at Chris Pinnell's shop. From a business perspective, it is a bad decision. I don't even know if he's actually going to be able to explain, like, the discussion went. I've invested tons in Mike and still don't have a shop stool. I know, that was the joke when I was talking about like needing to finish the shop stool just to get it the hell out of my way. And he was like, I bought my shop stool at Costco for $30 and it works awesome. And I said, yeah, but buying your shop, oh, here is the explanation. He's like, I said, but buying your shop stool didn't maybe make you $13 in ad revenue like mine will. And he was like, I'll just get somebody to sponsor my shop stool for $13 and then and that was the story. He was like, I think I can get, I said, like, Paul might give you $13 just to be able to say that your shop stool made you more than mine made me. And that was the joke. Inside jokes are hard. Pinnell. Yeah, walk people through it. In any case, let's wrap it up. That was the end of a beer. I'm happy with that. I'm hot. The sun is finally going down behind the houses, so things will start to cool off. I can start getting cleaned up. I can put the rest of these little latches on the rest of my little boxes. And finish that video off. The recording of that video I can finish tomorrow. And then go from there. Try to find a decent Grace 2 tab. How do you not know it? How is that not, as a bass player, and whose favorite Tragically Hip song is that? How do you not just immediately pick up your bass and go like, how is that not your first thing? Gonna finish waxing my wood and go to bed. Fair enough. I'm gonna do the opposite. A little bit later, I'm gonna go to bed and then finish waxing my wood. Content creators got to make money. Raid Shadow Legends picks up the bill. My bingo card doesn't work. Yes, it does. What did we do tonight? Let me see. I asked if you guys wanted me to go in and get a guitar, because that would have been 2 more. That would have been Mike plays guitar and Mike has to go into the house for something. That would have been 2 more. We had shakes fist at the sky like a cartoon old man. We had pulls plane off the wall, doesn't use it. Talks about a Zelda game. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe is going to happen at the end. I ranted about a social media platform. And if we would have had plays guitar and goes into the house for something, that would have been 7. Somebody could have got a line tonight too. But you guys didn't want me to play guitar, which cost you 2 squares. All right. Later, everybody. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Bye for now. Again, thank you, everybody, for coming. Got to yell bingo for stay happy. The stream ends a second later. I actually realized a little while ago that I have to like stop talking and then wait to turn it off, or else people don't. Like when I turn it off, the delay is like cuts me off. So I'm just gonna bye.